Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this meeting of the Moore County Board of Elections. Appreciate you joining us this afternoon. Happy New Year. And to get the new year started, I'll ask you to join me standing and saying the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We now have a roll call of the members of the committee, and at the same time, state your name and whether you have any conflict of interest with any item that's on our agenda today.
Holly Powell, no conflict.
Bob Howell, no conflict?
Antoinette Kelly, no conflict.
Susan T. Adams, no conflict.
Thank you. There is a provision for public comments. Does anyone wish to make a comment today? No. All right. Well, thank you for coming to listen. The first item on our agenda is the appointment of early voting precinct officials. And Ms. Dixon, if you'd like to get us started, maybe any other input from the staff.
So I'm going to turn this portion over to Ms. Anne Marie, if that's okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, so I handed in, well, I don't have a microphone. So I'll-
All right, so Tawana has forwarded all the board members the list of recommendations that I provided her. So I'm unaware of any recommendations from either party. So the list, I guess, stays the same. I guess you guys can approve from the list I provided,
Thank you very much.
which I think is a fair. I tried to find as many, or I guess what I'm saying is I try to do as, what's the word I'm looking for? Bipartisan as much as possible.
And I do agree with the recommendation that Ms. Holly had given from the last meeting and the chair to do as a group of all the chief judges, and assistants in that format. Also, just to be made aware that even though they're situated by site, there is a possibility that we would like for them to be recommended.
We're just approved to work any site.
To be approved at any site, because we never know if somebody may be a call out from one site, we may have to take somebody from a site and switch them over.
Exactly.
To the other
Thank you.
site. Yes.
So I think what we'll do then, if there's no further context from the staff, then I'll entertain a motion that we accept this list as presented. And once we have that motion, then there'll be and seconded, there'll be an opportunity for discussion in case there's further kind of fine tuning about that. And let me see if I can get this straight. Do you, in your clarification there, are you saying that we should have 3 separate motions for chief judges, and assistants on the list?
Well, here's the situation. I have some that can be either chief judge or judge. They served either in either capacity during one stop the last election.
Right.
So I don't know how, since this is brand new.
Right.
I don't, unless, I would like to think that, they're written down here who I would use as a chief judge,
Right.
or site manager, or some of the judges can also be used as an assistant. So they're really just multi-purpose.
Okay, no, that makes sense to me. So I
You
think
know
we're
what I'm
kind of,
saying?
right, and I'm not trying to quibble over.
Yeah,
your-
so I'm not quite
your-
sure if it would just be easier to, I don't know, approve them as any job title so that we can just kind of switch back and forth. Because like Tawana said, I do have workers that are willing to work at either site wherever we're needed on like a day if we're short in Southern Pines. The people that would prefer to work at Carthage or live up here don't mind traveling down there.
Mhm.
So we could approve these names and leave it to the discretion of the staff to see where they're needed.
Yes, that's a better term.
That makes sense to me. All right, well then I think Ms. Adams, not to name names, and the rest of the board, I think we're in a position. I'll entertain a motion regarding the proposal from Anne Marie and the staff for chief judges, site managers, and assistants.
So moved.
No,
I move.
oh, okay, I got it.
I move that we make approve these names and allow the staff to use these names at their discretion where they are most needed and most qualified to perform.
Is there a second to that motion?
I can second that motion.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion?
I did kind of an informal and maybe inexact total of the parties, of the people that have been put on the list for the early voting sites. And I wanted to commend you for doing the best you could to balance that. And I would note that based on my tally, the people that you have listed as chief judges for early voting, I see 3 Democrats, 1 unaffiliated, and 1 Republican. Again, I could have miscounted. And for judge, I see 4 Democrats, 8 unaffiliated, 11 Republican. And we know per the guidance and resolution that we have from the state, that you have to do everything you can to make sure both parties are represented at each
Yes.
site as a judge or a chief judge.
Mhm.
And I trust that you'll be doing that.
Yes,
using
so,
this list.
yeah, so, the last election, the municipal, that one stop, that was, I guess, our guinea pig. So for each shift, I assigned 3 different judges and I made sure there was at least 1 Republican and 1 Democrat. If I can get 1 unaffiliated, represent all 3, which was ideal. And I pretty much had that almost every shift. So, because I do have this, I have a number of people that work quite a few days of early voting. And then there's some that I only have working 1 or 2 days because that's all they can spare. So, yes, so I promise I will make sure each shift, the 2 judges and 1 chief judge will be as fair as possible between the 2 parties and the unaffiliated.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Based on your history, we know that you'll do that.
I try.
All right, any further discussion? All right, let's call for a vote. All in favor of this motion, say aye, please.
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously with those board members present. Thank you so much. Next item on the agenda is review and approval of minutes.
It doesn't matter. We're going to ask that the review and approval of minutes be tabled at this time. There are several discrepancies amongst the minutes, and I want to make sure that they're all correct. And we'll have all of them sent to you at one time to review prior to the meeting. In addition to when you come back with corrections, during the meeting, we can do it then. But there's at least 3 to 5 different meetings that I need to catch up on. And during the new year, I'm going to make a recommendation if I can, to help out. And I don't know if this is the right time to make that recommendation. And that is if I can get the recordings and help out, I will try to record the meetings as well on my own, write them up, and try to get them back to, help Tawana out to get them back to her, because I know this is going to be a very busy election time. So I want to be as much help to her as possible in getting these minutes out so that we're not so far behind and have to approve so many. So I'm going to try to have, my suggestion is to record the minutes, me go back and write the minutes up basically as much as I can. She can review and we both can review, and then we can send them out, have those minutes reviewed by everybody on the board. And then we make our corrections as proposed before and make corrections, get them approved. And hopefully we won't have as many to review each meeting.
The recorder that we have, she's not able to open the type of file that we have. So that's
Okay.
the issue that we're having.
Right,
With
so,
reviewing the minutes.
right, so this looks like one approach that Tony's proposing to overcome that technical challenge. No, I'm glad that you did mention that at this point. Seemed like either, Holly?
I know that we signed a document delegating preparation of the minutes to the staff or to Tawana. Can't remember which it specified exactly. I think it was to Tawana. And now it sounds to me like we're changing that and that we're putting it on Tony to create the minutes, the draft of the minutes. I guess I can't really figure out why it's such a problem, having them drafted by the staff, and getting them to Tony. And I understand you're saying she can't open the recording, but aren't they all on YouTube and you can listen to them that way?
No, that is incorrect. I've done YouTube, I've done the site that they've given me several times. When I go in to view it, it's locked. So we have to do it, it's been locked on me. I can't get the recording to work. So if we still want to try that, I can come in the office and try it. But I know from home it has not worked.
Could I suggest that it's so as to move on efficiently in this meeting? I think Tony, you've done a good job of articulating what the challenge is and some possible solutions. Could I suggest a meeting of the interested parties, whoever they may be? I could be getting myself into challenges with public meeting law and government in the sunshine, but it seems like discussions would be helpful between at least clearly Tony and Tawana have spoken. I know that Carrie has prepared minutes previously. My understanding is that, for instance, if I, as the chair, I would be happy to be part of that kind of discussion. And if I'm not mistaken, a meeting not in the public forum where we would have the kind of the flexibility to go to hash out exactly what an efficient process would be that's technologically sound, that accords with the process that we discussed, revised, and then approved several months ago. And if the just two members of the committee present, me and Tony, with Tawana and whoever on her staff is also involved in this process, that doesn't constitute inadvertently having a public meeting, because that would be 3 members of the board. Thought about this some, making it up as I go along some. Any suggestions, recommendations, objections to that, either from members of the board or from Tawana?
I sort of kind of agree with Holly. I don't quite understand. If we're having the meeting and it is being recorded here, why can't it be typed here like we thought it was going to be done? And after it's typed here, what happens?
It's sent to Tony. Then what's the
hiccup is my minutes don't agree with what's been typed. For example, if there's numbers and stuff off when it comes to some of the meetings because of a typo, then I need to send it back. That's all. It's just a checks and balance thing. That's what has been happening.
So when it's typed from here, we send it to Ms. Tony, and then she wants to verify it. It's on, so when it's on, it is on YouTube, so, and then we also have the recording. So she would want to listen to the recording to verify what it is said compared to what we have written to what she had. With the recording though, that she's wanting, she just couldn't open the file, but it is on YouTube, so she's been wanting to verify the information to match it and then send it back, and then once it's sent back, we review it and then give it to the board, so it's just taking a little bit longer. But it is typed from here, sent back, she's wanting to verify it, and then we'll send it back and then give it back to the board. But it's listed on the YouTube channel as well.
Great, well, so that's why I'm hoping that, or that my recommendation was, and I'm happy to pull back and you all hash it out one way or another if Tony has a suggestion, but my understanding, and I'm not trained as an IT professional, however, it certainly seems like we should be able to figure out a way that the IT staff at the Board of Elections are very qualified and capable, could determine what audio format Tony can listen to so that she can hear the recording, check out the discrepancies that she has identified between her notes and the type notes that she gets from the staff, and resolve the issue, or at least let Tony make the recommended minutes that as according to the process that we approve.
The other suggestion I could do is to let me come in there and look at that YouTube thing that I'm going, I might be pushing the incorrect button. And that
I
might
can
solve
send you the link
everything,
as soon as we're finished.
because that might just solve everything. Because I know we've tried the link before and it didn't work for me. And it's like I said, tech savvy, I'm not the best tech savvy person, and I don't want this to be a hashed out thing. This is real easy.
Okay, well, then I'll
Easy, we'll get it done.
stay on the sidelines.
And I'm
Yeah.
trying to get it done as quickly as possible, without, what's the word I want to say? Just get it done quickly as possible, because I know their staff is sending me the stuff as, best of their thing too, so we can
Okay.
do this.
All right. Then we'll leave it at this point for you to work it out with Tawana and the staff, however you all determine is going to be the most efficient way and way for you to verify the accuracy of the minutes that you then present to us. Okay? All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate the indulgence of our visitors, and also Tony's diligence in preparing the minutes and the support of the staff as well. We have seen at a previous meeting an appreciation letter for the student assistants who worked in the municipal elections, and that was a terrific addition in a way, as we've all agreed, to get young folks engaged in the process. And I think what we've seen is when they've seen what it looks like, then they become committed and engaged citizens and probably tell their friends. That's kind of the way these networks expand. So great program, and again, we commend the staff for doing that. And so, Tawana, do we have those letters for us to sign?
Yes, sir. They're here. The board could sign the letters. The school system has reached out now, and oh yes, ma'am. There's I don't know how many, but if you just flip them. The school system has reached out. The different principals have reached out. We also have some private schools that have reached out as well. So we are in contact with some of the private schools as well to set up times to go out to the private schools to get some other students involved as well. Marty had a death in the family, so he was not able to be here today. But he was gonna be coordinating with the school board for us to attend their meeting, and I think it's supposed to be January the 16th, Ms. Holly, but I will confirm that date
Thank you.
with you so that you can coordinate with things that you have to do so that we can present that. I didn't even realize one of our students was actually a private school student as well, which I wasn't aware of it, so I don't even know how she got the information, but that's good. So the information is actually getting out, so we are very pleased with that as well. So
You bet. Thank you.
we're hoping to get more students this year.
All right. Well, I suggest that we, as the signing proceeds, that we don't just watch Tony and me put our name down, that we move on to other business. Is there any suggestion from members of the board?
Yes, so I just wanted to give the board, just an update with the, center, what that name, the West.
West Southern Pine Center?
Thank you. I am almost finalizing all the information that they requested. I just have to have legal review everything, and then I will be able to submit it to them, and get it all finalized for them to present to their board.
Mhm.
And so that's coming along quite nicely as well. So
Great.
we'll be moving along with that information. I've been working actually with Mecklenburg County because they have to deal with that situation with early voting sites
Mhm.
and putting in language to buildings that they deal with. Because this is the first time I've actually had to deal with a site where it's not a county-owned building. So,
Right.
They've been a big help to me. So we're almost complete with that, and all the information will be presented, and then I'll be able to let the board know what they have agreed to and accepted with, and see how that goes.
Great. Remember the last time that we discussed this matter, there were different suggestions about determining what would be a fair and reasonable fee or rental amount.
Yes.
For that, is that one of the things, one of the details that's still being worked out? Or I don't want to bring this meeting to a halt, and in order to try to get an exact figure on that, but have you all sort of come to terms on that?
I have an amount because my property manager, he has a Duke representative that he works with. And so they were able to look at the gym area and kind of give me a somewhat estimate. And so there's a figure amount that I was able to kind of come up with. It doesn't kind of make me look cheap, but
Right.
but doesn't offend them as well. So hopefully they'll be satisfied.
Okay, great. And then when that's finalized, then we'll be informed.
Yes, sir.
Any questions or further discussions about that at the center? Other business stuff? Yes, ma'am.
So at the end of this month, our first absentee board meeting is supposed to take place on the 30th. I will be sending out a calendar to let you know all of your dates that will be taking place. Because like I said, your first absentee board meeting will be taking place on the 30th. And don't forget, February 4th, 5th, and 6th is your conference. Once the state board finalizes the agenda, because it hasn't been finalized yet, I will email that to you. But you will be getting like a packet of information coming to you closer to the end of the month. So I will be getting all that information out to you as well.
Great. Thank you for taking care of those details too.
Yes, sir.
Is there any other business?
Speaking of training, months ago, we got a link from the state board.
Mhm.
Has anybody been able to log into that link? Because I was unsuccessful, and I think I asked Bob at the time, and I don't know whether you ever did it, Bob. Is there some trick? Because there was no information in what we got about who to contact if we had a problem. And Tawana, were you able to log into it?
I've had that link for some time since I've been here. That Learning Center link.
Yeah.
So technically, what's supposed to happen, once they send you the link, you put in all your credential. It usually takes 24 hours, and then you're supposed to be able to go back into it, but they've been kind of behind. So what I can do is I can let the state know that you've been trying to get into it, and they probably haven't activated you, and see what's going on.
I tried when they first sent it.
Mhm.
I never, I tried for off and on, maybe the first week, but
I
I haven't tried since then.
I know who to contact, and I can see what's
I did as well. I tried as well and I couldn't.
you couldn't get in either. I can contact them and let them know that you haven't been able. So Bob, have you tried to get in? Or
Okay.
you haven't tried?
But
Have you,
I did.
you can't get in either? Okay, I'll let them know. Because usually once you try, they're supposed to like activate it so you can get into it. And then you're able to go in and look at different interest classes that you would like to take, and that's what it's supposed to be for. But it's not gonna help you if they don't activate it, so I'll contact them.
Thank you. I've been meaning to ask about it, but I keep forgetting.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Any other business? If not, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So I'll gavel us out, even though I forgot to gavel us in. So thank you very much for coming this afternoon, and enjoy the rest of your day and weekend.
Since my
I can